and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. More messages of congratulations to President Isaias Afwerki. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. And on your international, world's largest iceberg breaks off from ice shelves in Antarctica. China says U.S. warship illegally enters in territory with South China Sea. Welcome to your domestic in brief. President Guy Parmelin of the Sweden Federation, King Carl Gustaf of Sweden, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of the Republic of Turkey, as well as President Emmanuel Macron of the French Republic, sent messages of congratulations to the people and government of Eritrea in connection with the 30th independence anniversary. In their messages, the leaders wished good health to President Isaias Afwerki and peace and prosperity to the Eritrean people. The leaders also expressed the readiness of the countries to develop friendship and cooperation with Eritrea to the highest level. In his messages, President Guy Parmelin of the Swiss Federation said that good relations based on the trust between the two countries could help tackle major global challenges, and expressed the aspiration of his country to develop a fruitful cooperation with Eritrea. President Emmanuel Macron, on his part, indicating the global cooperation and this time of the COVID-19 pandemic is paramount for international peace and stability, expressed his country's desire to deepen the bilateral relations between the two countries incongruent with the current situation in the Horn of Africa. And on your health report, 15 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Asmara, 13 Central Region, and Teo 2 Southern Red Sea Region. On the other hand, 11 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients to date stands as accordingly risen to 3,711, while the number of deaths stands at 14. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has also increased to 3,921. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 21 May 2021. The National Union of Eritrean Women celebrated the 30th independence anniversary under the theme Resilient as Ever, featuring various programs on 20 May at the Center Office of the Union. Speaking at the event, Mrs. Takhatiswa Mikhail, President of the Union, gave a briefing on the contribution of the Eritrean women in the struggle for independence and safeguarding the national sovereignty, as well as in the implementation of the national development programs, and called for reinforced participation. Mrs. Takha went on to say that the Eritrean women, through their struggle, have realized their rightful place in society, and that school participation of the female students has increased significantly. In college education, participation has increased by 45%, and that attests to the struggle conducted. According to reports, the National Union of Eritrean Women branch in the Central Region started celebrating the 30th Independence Day anniversary from 4th May, featuring various programs. Preceding Eritrean nationals residing in various countries are celebrating the 30th Independence Day anniversary with patriotic zeal. According to the embassy media, the nationals started celebrating the Independence Day anniversary on 18th May, featuring various programs respecting the guidelines issued by the representative countries of residence. According to reports, nationals in the UK cities of London, Birmingham, Manchester, convened Coventry, Nottingham, Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds, and Sheffield celebrated Independence Day, featuring various programs, including waving the Eritrean flag, presentations of the challenges and conspiracies encountered, and the sacrifices paid, as well as recollection of the armed struggle for independence. And on your final domestic, with the strong effort exerted in the past 30 years of independence, the supply of potable water in the central region has reached 98%. The report was made by Mr. Girmay Takhlaab, head of the project management at the water resources in the region, indicating that the supply of potable water in the rural areas of the region before independence was only 10%. Mr. Girmay said that 81 villages out of the 84 in the subzone of Galan Nafhi, Barrikh, Sarajah, and administrative area of Durfo have become beneficiaries of the potable water supply. Mr. Girmay went on to say that in the central region, there are a number of potable water projects working with the solar system generators, water pumps, and others from the dams that have been constructed in nearby areas. The potable water project put in place have contributed to easing the burden of the residents, and especially that of women, and improving their livelihoods. Mr. Girmay added that also noted that the prevalence of waterborne diseases has been reduced significantly. He also called for judicious use of the project for their sustainability. Up next with your international news, do stay with us for more. And on your global report, a huge iceberg, the world's largest, has broken off from an ice shelf in Antarctica and is floating through the Weddell Sea, the European Space Agency reported. Called A76 and roughly the shape of Manhattan, but more than 70 times bigger, it was picked up on the satellite image and said currently the largest berg in the world, the ESA said on Wednesday. The iceberg is around 170 kilometers long and 25 kilometers wide, with an area of 4,320 square kilometers, slightly larger than the Spanish island of Majorca. The berg, which broke off the western side of Rona ice shelf, was originally spotted by the British Antarctic Survey and confirmed using images from the Corpus satellite. It takes the place as the world's largest from the A23A iceberg, approximately 3,880 square kilometers in size, which is also in Weddell Sea. In November last year, what was the world's largest iceberg appeared to be on the collision course with a remote South Antarctic island home to thousands of penguins and seals, threatening to impede their ability to gather food. The iceberg, known as A68A, had also broken off from the Lenson ice shelf, which has worn faster than any other part of Earth's southernmost continents. A68A, which was 160 kilometers long and 48 kilometers across, broke up before it could cause any damage to the abundant wildlife in the British Overseas Territory of South Georgia. Earth's average surface temperature has gone up to 1 degree Celsius since the 19th century through its increase, the intensity of droughts, heat waves, and tropical cyclones. But the air over Antarctica has warmed more than twice that much. Preceding China said on Thursday, May 20th, a U.S. warship had illegally entered its territorial waters in the South China Sea and was expelled by its forces, as an assertion the United States denied in the latest exchange of salvos, more Beijing's claim over what Beijing claims in the busy waterway. In a statement, the Chinese military South Threatener commander said the USS Curtis Welber entered the waters near the Parcel Islands without permission, adding that its ships and planes followed the U.S. vessels and expelled it. It added that China opposed the U.S. action, which it said violated its sovereignty and undermined regional peace and stability. However, the U.S. Navy said the vessel asserted navigation rights and freedoms near the Parcel Islands over with China, Taiwan, and Vietnam, all claiming sovereignty. The China's military comments about the mission were false. It added, U.S. warships have passed through the South China Sea with increasing frequency in recent years, showing off forces against the Chinese claims. In a statement addressing both the incident and Thursday's flare-up, China's defense ministry described the U.S. warships movement as a serious provocation. China, in a quotation, says China's military will take all necessary measures to deal with all threats and provocations, it also added. On your final report, thousands of Australian children are walking out of schools to attend protests calling for action on climate change. Up to 50,000 students are expected at school strikes for climate rallies across the country. It's the latest grassroots campaign by young people pushing for action on the climate crisis. Australia has long faced criticism for refusing to set more ambitious emission targets. David Soriano, a 17-year-old attending a Sydney rally, told the BBC he was warned about the future and wants the government to see the youth movement as one to be reckoned with. He said that they were scared and concerned, and that they were doubtful there might not be a future in store for 8 generations after after us, he reports, and even their own generation ahead. Mr. Sariano said he had experienced increasing heat waves and low air quality in Western Sydney, where he lives. The protesters are also calling for no new coal and oil and gas projects in Australia, including the controversial Adani mine. India's Adani enterprise has attracted criticism in parts of Australia for developing a new thermal coal mining. Protesters went on 100% renewable energy generation and exports by 2030, to along with plans for the transition away from fossil fuel jobs. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your reports for this broadcast. We'll leave you with the rest of our programs. Have a great Independence Week. These were your major headlines. More messages of congratulations to President Isaias Afwerki. An announcement from the Ministry of Health and more. And on your international, world's largest iceberg breaks off ice shelf in Antarctica. China says U.S. warship illegally enters into territorial waters in the South China Sea.